Marcus J, good man, and the only Dutchman in the Mousesports team right now. It made it sound like,
left.
yeah, he made it sound like, didn't he? He was like, yeah, there's only one German left that we have to get rid of. I don't know if that was what he meant or not.
Not such a bad idea, Paul. According to some.
I mean, let's start talking about that, because this is like the most multinational team that Mousesports have ever put out in Counter-Strike in their very long and storied history across all the versions of the game.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working. This has the nucleus and the feel of a team that actually could do better than when they had Nico in there, which you then go, well, that doesn't make any sense. They had the best player in the world, potentially, on their team. But moving him out has actually made them a better team. Why is that?
I think it has allowed more room for some of the other players, and we also have to remember that that wasn't the only change. They also brought in Robs instead of Speedy, and yes, Speedy was in that supportive role and wasn't really in the spotlight that much, but whatever they did with shifting around the roles, the team is playing better at the moment. Robs is having good impact from that lurking role and so forth. Oscar has been playing really well for the team too, so I think it's that. Also, a big problem was the old Mousesports Nico as an in-game leader. I don't think he's suitable for that role to be the main leader of the team. I think he's just too emotional, and his desire to win is so great that sometimes he can't really, you know, get a handle over his emotion. I think that influenced the other players as well in some of their games.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly flourishing under Carrigan, that's for sure. So I guess it's worked out for both parties, isn't it, this transfer?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, in my opinion, it's always, you can't just rely on one individual just doing all the work. You need to have spread it around, obviously. I mean, now they have the kind of tools with Oscar being a great operator. Robs has definitely proven his worth, and just keeps on learning. It's only going to get better, isn't he? So, I mean, when you have that kind of set of tools, instead of just relying on one individual going ham every single game, it's much more sustainable. It's something to actually work on and improve upon as well.
We've talked a little bit about this whole move towards a more multinational team. Penta are doing it, obviously, another German-based side. Mouse are doing it. Dignitas have partially kind of got it with 3 different nationalities. And the original ones, of course, which is FaZe. Is their success the reason that some of these teams have started to spread their wings a little bit and take players from different areas?
I mean, why wouldn't you? Counter-Strike is a universal language as a game. There's a lot of ways you can make things work, even though there's obviously going to be a little bit of issues when you have to switch from your mother tongue to another language. But I mean, you know, you can always work those things out. But the good thing is now we have avenues where these kind of new kids from different countries, more exotic Counter-Strike countries, get to have their opportunities. The FPLs and such, where Robs, for example, came through.
I mean, you played against some of the guys who initiated it. The NOA years ago first started, and they proved that that can be a success. I think recently it started off with people not being able to find players from their own country and not being willing to, you know, try again with some players who really aren't up to par, perhaps. They didn't want to make
the team aren't going to succeed in the first place.
They didn't want to make compromises in that sense. It was like, let's give this young gun a chance, you know, let's see how he fits in. Maybe he's just a pug star, but maybe he's actually a person who understands Counter-Strike and a really good teammate. And it turns out in most cases, the teams that have brought in players like that on trial, they have clicked, and you could form a team with them.
I'd love to talk about this more, because I think we've got plenty of... We could talk about this all day, probably make a show out of it on its own. We are running out of time, though, because I'm hearing the players want to get ready. So GODSENT are our other team in this particular matchup. We haven't really spoken too much about them right now. It is, you know, it's a mixture of new and old players, and some really old heads on young shoulders in here, in particular with Pronax in there.
And Graham.
And Graham, and also, you know, a Brit in a Scandinavian team, which is a bit weird. You know, it's almost like a Brazilian taking on a Norwegian or something as a coach, which happened in the past. I'm thinking of BSL. But it seems like things are okay with these guys right now. Again, difficult to say, because they haven't got a great deal of results. I mean, that CS Summit was 7th and 8th, and then ECS Europe Season 3, I think they were like 8th or something in the league. So they haven't got much going for them in terms of hard results, but looked okay yesterday.
I mean, they won 4 maps on LAN with this lineup. 2 of them have been against an Australian team at the global finals, and the other 2 have been on Overpass against Big and yesterday against Dignitas. So not many results to write home about. I think it's obvious that the refresh has tightened the leash on this team, that they've had enough with, you know, no results, sending in Graham mostly as like a drill sergeant, basically, with their practice and everything, to kind of become more professional, to not allow themselves to get tilted even in practice, and, you know, to stay focused on the task at hand, which is try and qualify for the major. And it seems like initially I think it's still early too early to tell that one game that we've had, but we'll have to see if it's actually working.
Yeah, Snyder said yesterday in his interview, Natu, that when we asked him about Graham's impact, and it's Messioso, obviously former ESL head admin, he's now working with the Refresh guys, and they've brought him in officially as the coach, but not necessarily as a strategical coach, because it seemed from what Snyder was saying yesterday, he's there to kick their ass.
Fairly sure Pronox knows a bit more about the Counter-Strike than Messioso, so I think it's probably a good thing that he doesn't really, involve himself into like strategic decision
but it
making.
seems it's working because he's reminding them. He's like, no, you're not going out tonight. You are going to stay back. We need you to practice.
Snyder said it. They're kids. They need a father figure there to make sure that everyone's, no one's.
That's scary.
No, but I mean, it is true though.
And Graham, father figure. Move on. Keep going.
In general, Counter-Strike players are kids. Like they're in their early 20s for the most part, even younger, right? So putting 5 people together from different backgrounds can be tricky. And, there's people tilting like we were talking about here. And, if someone's calming them down, making sure they're focusing to the main goal, which is becoming better at the game as a unit, that can be helpful. It's all a matter of, again, making it work, a coach and game leader kind of relationship.
Let's take a look at the map vetoes. I'm hearing they're ready. So let's find out what map we're going to be playing on this time round. It's going to be Train.
What? Why?
Yeah.
Well, you're the expert, Janko. Don't look at me and ask me why.
GODSENT played it 3 times, lost every single time. Mousesports have never played it, online at least. And even online, I think they have 1 win and 2 losses.
They have 1 win, 2 losses.
So you see, like with Mirage,
rabbit out the hat.
Them deciding to go for Train over Mirage obviously means that they have prepared extensively for Train. Otherwise, they wouldn't let it through. We heard Chris J in the interview saying that we would never play a map we are uncomfortable on.
No, and GODSENT have played this 5 times in the last 3 months.
And I'm pretty sure they expected
not won a single version of it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure GODSENT also expected Mirage to be in there. And that the veto would go that way.
This is an example of a team vetoing towards their opponent's weaknesses rather their own strengths, realizing that they are being expected to veto Train, so let's just prepare for it. The old Mousesports team with Nico did have some good executes on the T side. The CT side was a bit of an issue at times, but maybe they think like even with limited amount of time, the preparation that they did will be enough to take down a team like GODSENT.
And to make matters worse, even if you go back to like the Fnatic days when Pronox was leading that team, even then it was all about all of Meister running the quad and just wrecking people, and then everyone else swarmed the bomb side. So there's not too much in that sense for him to go back to.
I just want to say briefly, I hope that Mousesports on the T side plays similar to what we saw from Penta against Optic, like an execute heavy style, because even though GODSENT isn't really that good on the map, doesn't play it that often, with the players that they have, and considering they're all Swedes, they're notorious for having like strong city sides on a map like Train. So don't allow them to get into the groove where they can pick you off individually and then fall to their aggression. Just try to take the game to them. I don't think they will have what it takes to deal with those more elaborate strategies.
Okay, we're going to head to our casters in just a moment. Very quickly, in one word, which way are you going?
Mouse.
GODSENT?
Mouse.
Mouse and Mouse.
Yeah.
Okay, very comprehensive from our panel members. They go with Mouse in both cases, and as you saw, the betting is definitely going the way of Mouse as well. Let's find out whether all 3 are right or wrong as we head into our final game with your commentary team of DDK and Bardolph.
Mr. Red Eye. So, at the beginning of... Before, right, when we decided who was going to talk first, we would just do this. Now we're starting to flip coins. And I win every single time. Fine with me.
Heads
so
3 times in a row.
We have Train.
What's that about?
Train, Mousesports versus GODSENT. Are you a man with expectation, Dan?
Well, I mean, I think this is often where GODSENT have been able to get their best performances in spots where they're under pressure or where they really need a result. Train can often be a good go-to for them. So I feel like, yeah, sure, it's good for GODSENT. GODSENT, though, to me, are a team which I don't really know what to expect. Obviously, there was that interview with Mesio so very recently on HLTV. If you did not read it, I definitely recommend checking it out. If you're curious as to his background, and what he's doing for the team.
What's the TLDR on that? Because I wanted to read that before going into this match to see what he claimed to be offering for the team, but I wasn't able to do that because I forgot. So
yeah. A lot of it is, I think, discipline, structure, because, basically being the authority for the team, like telling the guys, like who does what, and he is the authority essentially. And, he'll also help them with practice regimens, make sure everybody's, doing what they should be doing, just keeping everybody in line basically and following orders. And because obviously it got to get to a point where, which can be very common in the GODSENT's position, where they didn't know what was wrong, they didn't know how to fix it, so everyone starts playing for themselves, which is how he described it, instead of playing for the team. So he's, that's one of the big things for him. And
so he's there to stop gamers being gamers and kind of be professional in that respect.
And it does go. There is a lot more stuff that he does for the team that you can read about. So, but it does sound quite positive, and it does sound like they receive a benefit from it.
So he's there for order. And to be honest, you see Schneider was just on camera there, and we had some interviews with him, but he's had interviews elsewhere as well. He was very frank and just was like borderline depressed, basically. Like he just was hating life, and nothing was going well, nothing was working in the team, and he was extremely unhappy and was very vocal about that. Didn't try and hide anything. And normally, you try and keep things within the team and puts on the brave face, but he was wasn't doing any of that. So maybe order was required in the GODSENT side. We'll see if it gives them a W here. So there is the team and Mr. Messioso behind them, mostly known as an admin at ESL where he used to work. I mean, that's literally all I know about him.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's why the interview is quite enlightening. So definitely recommend checking that out. Those of you very interested in the stuff going on in the CS world, but we are kicking things off, and Mousesports, quite conversely, have been a team that have surprised us quite often with perhaps strategies, but also performances, doing very well with their recent pickups of Rops, the FPL wonder child, into the team. And we get a quick check there by 3 members from GODSENT down to Ali, see what's going on, but they don't spot anything. Oh, no! Oh, you hate to see that. I hate it. He can't peek now, James. He's got 19 HP.
Yep, he is away from that position, but he's alive. But what does he do with that info? Nothing, pretty much. Somebody's outside main. Well, that is no surprise. God, look at all that pollution going into the sky. It is a cloudy day on train, and for one of these teams, the sun definitely won't shine. Mousesports moving through the ladder position. First kill goes their way. Doppland being taken down again. Lecro heavily tagged from earlier on. He will be boosted up. He'll have a look, have a butcher's hook. And there is the hook straight in his face.
Oh, the push through the smoke coming in with those blocks jumping through. Knife comes out. No luck for Twist, though. And it looks really bad right now for the GODSENT side. The bomb ticking away. Oh, nice pop there from Schneider. Pronax carrying the kid at the moment. Will pressure the bomb with the smoke. Still doable here for the GODSENT side. Going for the hold. Brave play. Brazen play. Will not work out for him, though. All the team as Schneider also falls. The round does go to Mousesports.
Good start for Mousesports. Can you saw a quick clip of Rops there. A young player with a common issue in that maybe the parents don't understand, or I'm sure a lot of parents, like those of you at home, don't quite understand what esports is and so on and so forth. But he's quickly played some live events for his team, so hopefully his family are fully behind him now, as he is maybe the most promising player of players you would put in that category at the moment. Doppland up close to the 5-7. Good start from him, doing some nice damage. Lowell's heavily tagged as well, and there are support here on the B bomb site, but it may get thinned out by the paint stripper that is Mousesports.
Lecro definitely makes a case for being the best Deagle in the world at many situations, and I feel as though whenever you watch GODSENT, there's one round where he's going to do like an insane clutch, like 1v4 or something at least with the Deagle. We just don't know when it's going to happen.
We need LAN Deagle though, that's the thing, we need LAN Deagle.
That's true.
It's all good online when you're wearing your Hello Kitty onesie at your computer chair. But we need that LAN Deagle.
Well, we did see him do it against, I forget which team it was, but Beyond the Summit, he was able to have an insane 1v4 Cash, I think it was, or even 1v5 actually. It was with 10 HP, I recall. But
Mousesports are taking a lot of damage here and not really getting much done. They had a 2-man venture down the ramp. They got sprayed, they got spanked by the CZ, and they ran away, taking nothing but damage with them. Dennis now has taken colossal damage as well. Surely this round goes the way of GODSENT.
GODSENT and their Deagles. A story that will continue for all time. Another frag there for Schneider, finishing off the weekend. Chris J. Now what does Lowell do? Smokes away. Oh, he's got the Molotov, but there is the glass. So, so
he lined it up. He went to the wall and lined it up.
Yeah.
So I can only assume it hit something.
Hit the glass.
Really?
Yeah, glass, yeah. He didn't smash glass.
That's a bit basic. That's a little bit basic.
Well, I was wondering myself. I was like, there's glass there, but maybe he's, this more of like takes into account, the
maybe he knows something we don't know.
But
or maybe he just messed it up.
That's a sad shame. It's a bad miss.
That's a bad miss.
We got the scout onto Chris J. He's quite renowned for his scout shenanigans. But will there be shenanigans here? Will they be treated to the battle of the 4 spies? Only if Mousesports are successful, and having gotten the bomb down, they have AKs. They actually have the buy is quite awesome, to be honest, for Mousesports. They have a decent selection of grenades to go with this. And now if Chris J is able to get an opener, oh, look at Lowell go. Oh my days. Lowell's so good at this, gets the taps. You often see him make this move on Train, and all of a sudden they have control. Oh no. Oh, that's bad. That should have been a frag for Disco. But instead, it's a 5v3 for Mousesports.
The bleach is out, man. The disinfectant, the floors are being wiped in the B bomb site. The bomb will soon be planted. They could opt for a side plant with the smokes down. And I think Chris J may have, not really sure. Either way, it looks favourable. It looks favourable for Mousesports. Chris J tagging one of these players that's Pronax down to 7 HP. I have more fingers than he has points of health at the moment. And my fingers are going nowhere, for those of you who are interested. 4 versus 2. But I think the round is over as far as the retake goes. So Mousesports will be back to winning ways. The teams continue to trade rounds, and I would expect a force buy from the CTs. And essentially force buys from both teams until one team wins that glorious, elusive, consecutive round.
Well, it's always going to be interesting, considering that there is a save of the weapons from Pronax and Schneider. But yeah, they have to watch out for Lowell, man. He's notorious for this. He's pushing the high area of Train, and this time he got 3 kills. What a beast Mr. Lowell is. It's awesome to see Lowell doing well too, as you do have his mate Mixwell on Optic, and Mixwell was obviously experiencing a lot of success. And then Lowell kind of staying on the Mousesports lineup for quite a while now.
Man like Mixwell.
And this new iteration, he's found a really good place for himself.
What is that?
Okay.
Excuse me?
Fair enough.
Pardon? What is that shot from Chris J? It's been a while since we've seen the notorious scouting Chris J, but he definitely seems to be back on the A site, charging through with a scout down. With a scout!
With a scout, he's looking for more though, but he's caught from 2 sides. No escape there. Rop's able to get one though towards the B-bomb site, and once again the B-bomb site is for free. Lekra going down there by Lowell as well, clearing out the connector, and it is a systematic crushing of the defense on both bomb sites here from Mousesports, as Twist will be able to eke out one more kill before he goes down. But
nice.
Mousesports 3-1, they have ended the force by shenanigans. We'll see a save now from GODSENT, and a decent lead for Mousesports, as they should surely take a round against GODSENT now, as they are totally broke.
Dennis drinking that water. Hydration is important in any life endeavor. That's just a man who knows his angles.
Yeah, it really is.
Very, very well. Chris J, very pleased with himself.
Smug J.
I wonder what he said. 1 round on the board for GODSENT. A team who've been struggling for the longest time. And for a while, there was almost parity with Envy when their team was raw, if you will. Both struggling, but Envy seem to have found their feet. Same cannot be said just yet for the GODSENT side on Eco at the moment. Lekro and Twist remain, but for how long? Not long at all. Not long at all. The wall's sprayed with crimson.
So it is a fast 4 rounds for Mousesports after chaos in the beginning. And the cool thing here for me is that we'll see Dennis holding on to the SMG very likely, and they have so much cash that they can really play around this. Between Oscar with the AWP and Dennis with the SMG, they can have those 2 players, I think, as their main playmakers at the beginning of the round. Maybe Oscar can get a pick somewhere, and obviously you can take a lot of risks. You know, in Dennis's position with that SMG, you can try to get close, you can try to do whatever you want, really. You can see Oscar is working from teammate. Oh, there's a catch! And that's going to be Lowell dead also towards upper B. And still yet to be played is this man here, Dennis. What will he be able to accomplish here with his beautiful MP7?
Dennis with a small D. Not judging, of course. 4 versus 3 for GODSENT, minute 20 for Mousesports. Lots of time. And maybe it's Oscar who needs to go full FPL mode. There is a time, like you see Stewie has that gear on Cloud9 where he just goes mental. Mousesports have that gear where Oscar just goes full FPL, runs around, AWPs people. Might prove difficult on train, but often nothing is too difficult for Oscar. Things become harder, however, as Rops gets picked off 2 versus 4, and now he's forced to scope into these angles, but a scope will give his position away. Stereo frags for the Mousesports side. They've got a chance to plant the bomb.
Yeah, that's perfect to get both kills so quickly. Ah, Dennis peeking towards Ali, finds himself another one. Now Lecro with the M4 and just a flashbang is here to try to save the day. He does not have a kit at the moment, so this will be quite difficult for him. He needs to push the issue as he lacks time, but you can see the focus on his face there as he goes and presses for that first kill. Gets some good damage, tapping the bomb, praying for the repeat, praying to find that next player. He has no idea where Dennis is. And that is ultimately going to be what stops him from being able to likely win this round. But maybe he can get another kill. He will. And maybe he'll steal the AWP as well, which would be a big deal. But he realizes another player's oncoming. Here's him running. Dennis gets the frag. No AWP for Mr. Lecro. Reclaimed for Oscar.
Very important save there. Doplan is a dab hand with the AWP. And that's Lecro's first kill of the game, trying to clutch without dropping a single bomb. Any kills whatsoever is maybe not the best. Going in cold, perhaps. There's Oscar taking out the Badger. What a retake from Mousesports. 2 versus 4, at the very least.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 2v4. Really nice.
Indeed. And GODSENT, they've been broken again. Chris J making sure no one goes towards E-Box quickly, but he'll have to be afraid of the other areas, or will he? Quickly, a 3-man takeout by Mousesports on this anti-eco round. Chris J retaining control of main, maybe providing an exit route for his team, spotting a player moving through Ivy. That's Pronex. Very brief round as far as the action goes. 6-1 for Mousesports, coming up very shortly indeed. It was the second round that GODSENT won, meaning they're about to hit maximum loss bonus. Will it mean anything? No. They've got average $2,000 in the bank. The AWPs will be out. Will it be 1? Will it be 2? I'm sure Doplan will be on 1. What is it that GODSENT will change to put them in a driving seat to get them back on the scoreboard?
The annoying thing too is that there's a lot still for Mousesports to mess around with, which could be to the detriment of GODSENT in their buy rounds. I mean, they could try to run a fast round into B. They could try again to get low on these pick-based plays, and which can only really be dismantled if there's a player watching that angle from connector, which we have seen in some setups, or if there is someone watching the high ground, or if they pressure the high ground early on. Because Lowell seems really good at just making plays there by himself. I've seen a lot of consistency from him there. There's obviously all kinds of plays around Ali that have yet to be really tested and abused, and we'll see how good Mousesports are at playing off of CT rotation. Should they be able to take over Ali? There's a lot in question, and there's already 6 rounds for Mousesports, and they haven't gone to all of the chaotic rounds where they just tried to just run into the A-bomb site, which a lot of teams use as a crutch.
Twist will be the sole AWPer for this round, and that's probably position-based. They want the AWP to be in the connector rotate position. Doplan playing close towards B, and Twist is, we cannot overlook him. He's quite a proficient AWPer as well. Not the only Swedish team with multiple AWPers. Fnatic being a notorious one. A successful run boost. That angle is advantageous for the Ts. One minute on the clock, and nothing doing towards Ivy. GODSENT avoiding any early picks. GODSENT don't have any any forward positions in the A area. No one towards E-box, nobody towards main. Using that smoke to try to delay any execute, and here we have the grenades raining in from Mousesports. And they do seem committed to this A push. Then it's emerging out of the Ivy position, but it's the CT to get the first kill.
Yeah, slow round, and now a very explosive one in the last 30 or 40 seconds, as this looks really good for the GODSENT side, but perhaps things will change. We get Chris J with a quick kill off of onto Lekro, and now they'll allow the bomb to go down. They've taken some forward positions, have these T's of Mousesports, and they're protecting the bomb 3v3. This has actually turned out quite well. It looked hard for them to plant, but they found a way. However, gotta watch out for that flank because it is imminent.
Schneider coming in from the back. Chris J looking for it, however. Chris J delivering his 3rd kill of the round. 2 more to find. Doplan around the connector position, and now Twist in a 1 versus 2. The clock is ticking. He doesn't have a kit, but he's still moving in. Maybe there's one close. Some warning shots as he tries to save. 7-1. Mousesports won't let him around the corner. Lowell shutting it down. No edges, nothing for GODSENT.
Yeah, Lowell has 1 death so far. What a baller, James. He's balling out of control. Lowell's doing a great job for his team so far. As is Chris J in that round, as you mentioned, got a very tidy 3K. And obviously, the kill onto Schneider was really the big deal. Like, it doesn't necessarily know a flank is coming. Schneider was playing it well. He had, I think, even the first bullet there against Chris J, but Chris J still won the battle. What an important frag. 7-1 is the score as well.
You still think of Chris J as a sniper player, but on train, he loves getting into the A site early on the T side and wrecking fools. He excels at that role on train specifically. He's really good at it. And he is showing it to us now, trading at least in this round. Of course, it is another eco round, a half-buy round for GODSENT. Pistols and Kevlar here and there. So a slower approach will be taken by Mousesports.
Yeah, it's refreshing to see that they were able to switch up what appeared, obviously, in the previous iteration of Mousesports to be a very cemented role, which is Chris J is very, very good on the AWP. He is the dedicated sniper. And, you know, obviously, we see Oscar as a dedicated sniper. We've got Chris J now leading the team instead. So, as I said, that good opener from Rops pushing into the A yard, and they will be able to remove all these saving CT players for their 8th round. 8-1 now. So, what do GODSENT get going for themselves? They are not having a good time. Twist on the AWP. Disco Doplan still deciding what to go for, and he gets himself a rifle full grenades. Now the question is whether GODSENT think right now that they have to make a play, because they've allowed Mousesports to sort of run whatever they want, and Mousesports have just made it work. So do you just try to take the initiative, or how do you handle this? Speaking
of initiative, Doplan was headed for an upper B play, but all the grenades flying into A has turned him around. Lekro isolated, facing multiple Ts. Chris J charging through the smoke, doing what he does. He's almost unstoppable at the moment. 8-1, and the bomb very quickly down for Mousesports. 3 players left for the CT side. Doplan hunting, desperately seeking something on the site. 2 Mousesports players left, 2 GODSENT players left. Angles being held to main. If Oscar goes wide, he could be in trouble, but both he and the CT Twist will move at the same time. Robs flashed off the position. The defuse not being held just yet, but Mousesports don't know that. Charging towards the site, spamming, revealing their positions. Now the defuse is coming in, and they might have even heard the re-up on the defuse, and their hero defuse is there. Twist will die. It'll be expensive for GODSENT, but they've doubled their score to 2.
But as you say, it's going to be super expensive. They lost every single player, and I think we'll see a timeout here from GODSENT. They're in a horrible spot. Everyone died, and they didn't have any money to really begin with. So you can see that the best money is on Disco Doplan with 4,000. Oh, actually, Pronex, sorry, with 4,150. But that's still really terrible. I mean, even if he gets himself, a rifle. I mean, well, he's the only guy who can even get himself a rifle in full nades, right? And he has to skip the head armor and probably skip the defuse kit as well. It's not a good situation to be in, and you're going to be up against the Mousesports. Mousesports understand that GODSENT have no money, and they lost 5 players, and they have to go for a full buy. So Mousesports know that if they play a slow round, GODSENT will run out of utility, and then if Mousesports are to go for an execution, there's no counter grenades from the CTs, and their lives are made much easier. So I would be surprised if Mousesports run a fast play here. I don't think that makes sense, but we'll see what they decide to do.
No shortage of snipers on Mousesports. Oscar is back. Chris J lining up a smoke grenade towards the IB position, but we've got a P90 push. Doplan looking to cleanse these fools. Will he charge straight down the ladder? It's what a P90 deserves. He's there, but the kills might be stolen before he even makes it there. E-Box, oh man, a spray transfer. It is glorious, Dan. Everybody's getting blessed by the P90. Holy water all over the shop.
And they did exactly the opposite of what I wanted them to do. And it's not gone all too well here for Mousesports, leaving Dennis in a 1 versus 3 clutch. The P90 has been discarded, unfortunately. I know you'll be shedding a tear for that, but it's okay. GODSENT looks like they could very well be taking this round. But the real advantage that Dennis has working in his favor is this element of surprise. He's coming in from a completely unknown angle. And the question is, how many players, how many backs will he see at once? If he sees 2 and can spread on 2 for free, then he's got a really good situation in his hands. It looks like there'll be no backs before he's spotted, so Dennis has to frag, just out-frag 3 players, and he'll be very lucky, I think, to get more than a 1 versus 1, and that's not going to be the case. GODSENT with the 3rd round on the board.
Rob still has $16,000. How is that even possible? Oh man, look at this. Spreading the love, the joy. He's a hippie, Dan, but he's showing his affection with a P90 instead of a bag of hard drugs.
Nice.
5-round lead for Mousesports at present. The buys keep on coming for the T side. If they lose this one, they've still got more buys. Rops with $11,000 left.
Yeah, and we'll see what the decision is here again from Mousesports. I think Mousesports were expecting that previous round to receive a rush on Ali or maybe even on B, so that they just wanted to rush into A where the defense would be weak, but the rotation was so fast because that did actually happen. So I'm still not sure what their logic was for it, but they've slowed things down here. No push from GODSENT. GODSENT with no AWP though, and I think that that's something that Mousesports can likely bet upon, knowing how weakened GODSENT's economy has what is.
We see more aggressive, a more aggressive GODSENT on the A site now. When their economy sucked, they were far back in the A site, around the connector area, but regardless of that, the push coming in towards B, Lower will try, Lower will fail. The bomb is down, and Trade is there, but the advantage is with the CTs, and it continues. Lekra charging up the ladder. No respect for these Ts. Twist now on the high ground, bomb on the low, but not with the player by default. Rop's here, Rop's gone. That leaves Chris J alone, 1 versus 4. It's a question of damage. He won't get any done. Glorious round for GODSENT. 4 players surviving. But again, there's still money on Mousesports to buy.
Yeah, it's a big recovery, you have to say, for GODSENT so far, because even though there is still money to go for Mousesports, the thing is that GODSENT have put themselves into a territory where they can actually have buys. All the nades, the fuse kits even. And so that's really, really awesome, to be honest. If you consider where they were. Mousesports have taken a tactical here, so they are obviously discussing amongst themselves as to how to approach this next round. Oscar on the AWP. Again, they haven't actually done a lot towards Ali just yet. We haven't seen a slow default where Ali, they take control slowly but surely. They get a smoke, maybe a pick off, and they basically, you force the rotation from the CTs to play to a specific way because they lose that part of the map. And then because you know what their likely reaction is, you can then play off of that with your next push. So we'll see how Mousesports handles this, if it will be a fast or slow round. And GODSENT, they have an ult finally. Schneider's on it.
Schneider on the AWP. We saw Twist with it earlier, so it's Schneider's turn now. And I think the greatest thing that Mousesports can get is a psychological advantage. I think the way, the recent history of GODSENT, psychological warfare is absolutely a thing. If they can demoralize the team, then that will help them snatch a victory. But what won't is a punctured chest of Dennis from the AWP of Schneider, but now they know where it is. They might try to exploit something else. Lots of CT spotted around the A site. What is the response from Mousesports? They have not committed the bomb just yet to this site. Great headshot from Chris J, but insta-traded by Lekro.
And this actually does remind me that we did see stylistically from Mousesports lots of rounds in the past on this map where they do like to just send Chris J out by himself. I just remembered that. And look at here, we have the plan B quite literally as they march towards that B-bomb site. Oscar with the quick trade, but he needs to make another one with the AWP. Misses the shot, Disco to close it all down. And that's the 5th round on the board there for GODSENT. They've done a good job. Still, the recovery rages on as Mousesports struggle to take a round. Where's the money for them now? It looks like they are finally running out of money.
Yep, but only after another buy. GODSENT playing with confidence now. The confidence is rising, and that is great for the team. That is great if you're a fan of Swedish bids or Swedish players and teams in general. Well then, what could be, well, I'll say one of the last buys. There are 2 rounds remaining, and GODSENT are making a very reasonable half out of this. All things said and done. Schneider spotting multiple players. Target selection means Lowell will be the first to lose his life.
Yeah, really nice play there from Schneider to open it up. Twist on the other up here towards Ali. Nice run boost there over the top of the scope. Not sure if Twist spotted that. He didn't. And that is the power of the run boost. If you do it correctly, you go over the scope, and as you can see, Oscar can enter from the other angle, and his opponent will have no idea. So free frag for him. And it's not just Ali pressure, it's a full-on Ali push into the back lines with 3 players. They still have Rops lurking, doing what Rops does best towards the B bomb sites. And here is the split, quite the elaborate split into B.
Rops maybe colliding with Dopplan. No, this is very confusing. Oh, Dopplan realized he's being blocked in the smoke, gets a free kill onto Rops. And he retains an advantage and map control for his team. Mousesports coming into B from the back. And it's going to work out for them. Dopplan picked off immediately. They've got the entire train yard of B. What do the CTs do? They've got 1 player on the flank, 2 players stuck in connector. That flank is going to be hyper important. Mousesports backing all the way off. The bomb is in a very, very unusual spot for the CTs to deal with. Continuing to slowly emerge, but there are yet more grenades here for the T side. And the AWP as well. Oscar just about escaping. Schneider, in fact, goes back for the kill as well, as Oscar does. 1 versus 3. Pronax still creeping towards the site, maybe going for a hero defuse. There isn't much money for GODSENT to buy in the next round, so maybe there was an option to save there for Pronax. Either way, he took option A, didn't work out. And Mousesports get their 9th round on the board.
What a sick round from Oscar, man. Gets 4 kills. That second kill against the Orperon connector was just, that was some juicy stuff. We're going to get a replay. Lovely. We can see the first one here, obviously. Jumping over, doing the jump boost over the scope, appears from an unknown angle for that first kill, allowing his team through Ali. So crucial. I love the plant here as well. And here is the second shot on connector. Oh, lovely stuff. Right, back into the action here as we have a, well, not the best buy in the world for GODSENT. They had to force up what they can. It's the last round of the first half. But will it be 6 for them, or will it be 10 for Mousesports? Dennis will pressure towards Ali. Announced his presence soon enough. Does have some support there from Oscar in the back with the AWP as well. His teammates also waiting in position towards Popdog to essentially, well, first Mousesports have to get that Ali control before they can initiate the 3-pronged attack, but that appears to be what they're after.
Schneider is on top of the train looking towards main. And I do wonder if he will push in response to what's going on here. He can't stand here forever. He's in no man's land. You see him crouching to avoid anybody in main. He doesn't really have much information, so the response is from B instead. Twist creeping up, and Lowell's got the angle, but not the kill. Twist continuation spray, doing great damage from the grenade. Oh my god, how does he survive that? How does he survive? He's got 10 HP.
What? You're not supposed to be alive. I have no idea how he's still alive. He probably doesn't know either, but he's still going to help his team, or try to help his team win the round. It's a 4 versus 4. Twist and Rops critically injured, but still standing. Here comes the push. 25 seconds to go. It has to work here for Mousesports.
Oh,
great
boy.
pick off there from Chris J. Looking to find some more there. 1 player in between the train, the bomb train that is, as Chris J will get the Tech 9 to try to do the damage, but it won't. It's Lekro to shut it down. Wrapping around is Dennis, but it's all for naught. 6 rounds for GODSENT. What a weird round that was, though.
Some insane frags from both teams. Chris J with an absurd AWP shot onto Schneider, who spent the entire time on top of that train. And that's great to see GODSENT in good spirits. I don't know when I last saw somebody from that team with a smile on their face, so it seems their minds are in the right spot. 6 rounds moving into the T half. Lekro picking up the Deagle on a pistol round. Pronax is grenades. Only 2 players with Kevlar for the GODSENT side. Oh well, Dopplan hasn't bought yet. Now he's got Kevlar.
And if GODSENT win the pistol round, this is basically tied up. Despite all the dominance we saw from Mousesports, that is what we're looking at. Lekro picking up the Deagle, man. He's the one of the few pros that it feels as though you can let this guy get the Deagle on the T pistol. Nico's another one who does frequently do it. Simple, I think, as well. But yeah, we'll see if that works out for him. A big bum rush all the way through Ali will be a good entry for the GODSENT team.
Lekro the Deagle not getting much done. Both teams exchanging kills, dancing around the train. No pressure to put the bomb down just now. Got to keep the guns out and duel with these CTs. Top lane rushing around the site. 2 CTs there. It's a question of headshots on this pistol round. Pronax, last man standing with the bomb. Rops is moving towards ladder room, however. He might hear this rotation from Pronax. Surely he hears it. Yes, Oscar. Does he hear it? There's no rotation from the CTs just yet.
He must have, surely.
Oscar's... No, they don't seem to have any idea. So, I mean, it may be that communication drowned the sound out, because surely you hear the rotation from there. I am 90% certain that you would hear a T running up that area. But either way, the bomb is planted.
Maybe they just wanted to just go for the guaranteed thing, wait for the plant, play the 3 versus 1 together. Well, Rops, he might be meeting his fates soon at the hands of Pronax, who is lurking nearby, but Pronax has yet to reveal himself. This is so difficult. So many CTs here looking for Pronax yet to reveal himself. Oh my god. Immediately denied. Immediately denied. Not even they weren't even toying with him. There was no tease. Just instant denial. Instant.
Rops be like, have you heard about me? My name is Rops. At Ropsicle with a Z on Twitter. Give him a follow. Very promising young man. A favourite of...
Dazed.
Yep. Indeed.
Is that what you going to say that? Or?
I was going to say that, and I was like, oh, wait, it's the major expand. Just over $2,000 from GODSENT on each player. The AKs are en route. They are in the delivery van, and they are out for delivery, but they may have to wait until after lunchtime. Some P250s on this echoing T side, and the one flashbang onto Twist. Perhaps it gets them into B.
Very quiet at the moment, because they're not revealing their presence, but now it's all revealed. Rops has himself a lot of damage. Oh my goodness, the spray down is real. The bomb plant, though, that's what they were playing for, and they get it. So it's actually a successful round for GODSENT. They weren't expecting any kills, and they won't get any.
For the investment, it was a good round from GODSENT. Flashbang, $200. P250, $300 apiece. Bomb plant bonus after losing the round, $800 per person. Money has been made. These chaps would make good investors as far as that round goes. Maybe not outside of that round, perhaps. Who knows? Maybe they are. I don't know. 5 rounds between the two sides, and Doppelman he was $50 short of Kevlar. And he has an AWP on the T side, which is very interesting, because where does he go with this AWP now? Surely the lack of Kevlar changes his approach. I wouldn't say he can necessarily go towards main at the beginning of the round, because the grenades will surely be flying in. There are at least 4 high explosive grenades on the CT side, but what is going on? 3 kills immediately for GODSENT. Mousesports going for aggression, and they will be aggressed.
They've been destroyed. There's nothing left except Rops and Oscar. It's 5 players. Oscar has an M4A1S as well. There's just not enough bullets in that gun to even spray down multiple players. So it's going to be a very tough round. But he has got the E-box to play off of. Oh, I don't think that you can really be allowed to miss that many shots. But Rops is there, and he's actually trying to reposition here. So Oscar can get into another engagement, can get a reload in as well. So still a chance here. I mean, we can't put it past the likes of Oscar and Rops to do something here. Nade thrown in by Oscar as he sees all the players going in towards the bomb site. Rops is appearing as well. And Oscar's got a good angle. Rops gets another kill.
Boy.
All of a sudden. Surely not. Oh my goodness. Oscar with another kill. And it's a 2 versus 1. It was 2 versus 5. They've yet to lose a man. And Pronax is the last man standing. Goes for 1. He'll get it against Oscar. But still, 40 seconds to go. Rops is creeping in. And there it is. That is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous.
Man like Rops looks like he's 12, but man, he's got a grizzly chest, and he is wrecking fools. He's out there. He's fighting with bears down. The bears are getting strangled. They're getting left by the river. No fish for the bears. That is psychological warfare. This is what I'm talking about. You lose a 2 versus 5. How do you do this? How do you lose a 2 versus 5? That is complete insanity. Look how fast it was a 2 versus 5. It was like 10 seconds into the round.
I don't even know how that happened.
You see, it's gone everything, all the goodwill, all the confidence, all the momentum is gone. It's down the toilet, Dan. It's been flushed down the toilet. They cooked a steak, they dropped it on the floor. It's a complete mess. It's got ants on it, Dan. It's inedible.
And even Lekro can't make his Magic Deagle work in this round. Twist, though, doing his best Lowell impression. Although Lowell typically having a rifle in that spot, he will get nothing. Rops will clean him up.
It was a 2 versus 5 there.
I know, and that's what they're probably still thinking. But that's the thing, too. They have Messioso there as well to be the man to tell them, all right, guys. I know that sucks, but try to focus. I'm sure that's not his exact words, but that is his job, to keep the team emotionally in a good place when horrible things happen such as that. The bomb will go down here, though, for GODSENT, so that's a consolation. That's some extra money going forwards. But Mousesports should still be able to close this one, unless they themselves now... This would be one of the ways to bring it back, is if this round is won by GODSENT. But they just don't have Kevlar. How do you hit shots when you've got no Kevlar?
I need time. I need time to recover.
2 versus 5. You hate to see it. Oscar on 24
Can we just
kills.
have a moment of silence, please?
All right, all right.
And breathe. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Back on the bye, lads. Back on the bye. 6 rounds, 7 rounds away. There is a chance. There's opportunity. Yes, that round completely sucked, but we can still do this. GODSENT boys, let's effing go. Disco, Doppler, AWP, they got the AKs on the rest of the boys, on the lads. Just focus 1 round at a time, gentlemen. 1 round at a time. Dan.
Kom igen nu! That means, come on now, in Swedish. It's probably what they're shouting over there, trying to hype themselves up, get themselves back into the mood. Now, we've got Lekro with the deep Molotov there, trying to prevent any picking opportunities. Oscar still going for it, though. He's still, oh, okay, gets taken down. Oscar was staying out there for too long. He's greedy, man. He's greedy in this round at the very least, and it will be horrible. A horrible result for him. Lekro going for number 2. All right.
Yes, back in the zone, back in the mix. Pause was everything that the GODSENT boys needed, and Mousesports are being punished for their exuberance. How dare they? God B level Molotovs coming in for the take of the ladder room. 5 versus 3, over a minute on the clock.
Do you reckon they're thinking, we've lost these before, boys? We've lost these before?
No, not at all.
No,
not at all.
So positive.
It's a new round. It's a new day.
All right, all right.
And there are more lyrics to that song. I don't know the order or the words, but whatever. Lowell doing what he can. Now, it's important that GODSENT don't play the long game too long. They have advantages, but they don't want to be subject to time pressure where things can go wrong. If the bomb carrier gets picked off on his own or something like that, you don't want any of that nonsense going on. 35 seconds as the team collectively look to go towards B. Hello, with Pronax flanking CT. 25 seconds and GODSENT, it's time to move.
They have all the players in position to have a strong finish to this round. That's a good start, though, from Dennis as Chris J waits in position. But Lowell finds himself a pick there with his forward position in T main. Now things get weird. The bomb has been dropped. I think Lowell spotted that as well. The CTs are rotating.
Oh,
another one through the smoke. Absolutely heinous stuff there from Lowell. Still in the smoke, pushing forwards. How is this happening again? It's happened again, James.
They've got money to buy. They've still got money to buy. They still have money to buy, Dan.
Not like this, man. Not like this.
They still have money to buy, Dan. 5 AKs. There are grenades. There's opportunity. There's opportunity to execute. Is it Sister Sledge that have that song that goes, caught in a trap, no turning back? Anyway, got to focus on the future. Focus on the possibility. We've got to stay positive here, Dan, as GODSENT struggle through difficulty. They've got some smokes. They've got some pop flashes. The road to recovery is long, it's arduous, it is arid, but they can still do this, Dan. They can still do this. Mousesports, hyper-aggressive. They've got 4 people in A. They're pushing towards main, and it's Rops alone to try and delay this plant on B.
He's very good so far in this match for his team. Bomb goes down though, and the CTs are spilling into the yard. We have Connector available for them to come out. And this is usually half the battle, getting out of this choke point. Dennis caught by Twist, very forward position. And now Lowell's going to be trying to get himself some good peeks. His teammates going down all around him until he's the only one left. And it's not a pretty existence as he gets traded by Lecro. And GODSENT win the round 7 for them, 14 for Mousesports. It's a long way back, but that is a very good way to bring yourselves back. Getting a win there, getting a good solid round in, trading for each other, the coordination and team play are on point. They're still composed. It's good.
This is a key round. I mean, at this point, every round is key for GODSENT, but, I mean, because they have half the score, right? It's a long way back, but following this bye, the money is lacking for Mousesports, which means that they can make life easier for themselves, GODSENT, in the coming rounds. And again, in terms of momentum, confidence, team unity, that might just be important for them if they are to do the best that they can do. I would really like to see them go beyond this round with a W. Pronax lurking towards Ivy. Mousesports getting aggressive again. You see the shadows. Schneider has the info. Second player comes in to trade though, and there's nobody else there in main. Crusade knows it, putting a Molotov in the entrance.
You can see the disappointment for Schneider there. He knows very often there's going to be a trade fragger coming straight back into his crosshair and still can't get the kill. It's a very frustrating situation, but they still have a man advantage, which on the T side of Train, or just generally a T side, is just so phenomenally strong. A 4 versus 3 for GODSENT.
Chris J has made his way all the way through main, and he is coming in from the back. However, he will instantly be spotted. That's info for GODSENT. That might start the engine, but there are 2 CTs. They could be falling into a trap. However, they've got a player pushing through Ivy, the T, so that could be the information to go towards A. And there's a flank now going back towards Ivy for the CT side. This is going to get crazy.
Yeah, this is really difficult now because how are they going to plant the bomb? They have to be able to deal with one of the two players on Connector or the man on Ali. This has to be a win for Pronax, and he's going to get it. Now the plant is possible towards Ali, and that's so important. But the boost comes in onto Dennis. A 2 versus 3 here. Obviously, Mousesports going to be just brimming with confidence after the previous clutches that they've performed. Will this be another one? A 2 versus 3 as the bomb is planted. And the after-plant positions are held here by GODSENT. Nasty tagging onto Twist, down to 22. Dennis looking for him to appear, but he will not. And he is forced. Oh, actually, are they going to go for a save?
Well, their money is, they are money screwed.
That is a very good point. I totally missed that. In this whole narrative of what's going on, I feel just like everything's always against GODSENT, but actually they've broken the money, you're right. Yeah,
if Pronax can eliminate these players, it would be fantastic. However, his body will be exposed, tagged through the wall. Will the team come to join? I don't know that GODSENT really have the money to suck a bunch of weapons here, but it will certainly help.
Nice. Oh, no, that is so sick.
I don't know why he's picking the AWP up, though. Doplan's got an AWP. You don't need 2 AWPs on it. Well, it is Train, in fairness. I think I'm a bit tilted on double AWPs on T side because of Immortals I think it was Inferno or whatever it was. But Train is plausible, definitely.
It's kind of nuts there because you can see Rops was obviously expecting that push, but it was almost like a pre-fire around the corner there. And also, I like that Rops didn't initially go for the re-peek because he's a player that realizes he's generally very composed in chaotic situations, and he'll realize all I have to do here is save this gun. I literally don't have to do anything else, but he doesn't want to fall all the way back as well into the yard because the player could come from Connector and just shoot him in the back. So he's forced to hold his ground there. So really nice play to take the AWP away from him because, as you said, right now there's just nothing going for Mousesports. They've got an M4, but other than that, their money is absolutely ruined. They're sitting on 14 rounds though, so they have some comfort here. There's rounds for them to work with. They can try to go for full saves. They've done this. They've actually invested in nothing, just a PT-15. That's it. So they can have the best possible buy rounds when they finally get there, which is really important. A lot of teams, they overinvest in these spots, but Mousesports know they need to have the strongest possible buy round next buy round.
6 rounds is... I don't think it will feel like a canyon for GODSENT. This is achievable for them. This is doable. But it is definitely easier said than done. And in some ways, I mean, yes, you could say that they have made colossal errors, but at least those errors have not come at a fatal time where they have lost the match. There is still a chance for GODSENT. So now those times are behind them, they can focus on the future. Again, focus on what is still possible rather than what has come and gone. That is for review later on. Schneider with the opening kill. Dennis still alive with the M4, but in a 5 versus 2, surely this time Mousesports can't do it.
Yeah, there's really not too much happening here for Mousesports in this round. Oh, I have no idea how that happened because there's no CTs.
He's snapped. That.
Dude, there was no CTs
He's finally
anywhere.
Snapped. Schneider has finally snapped. We've seen it in the interviews of Twitch AI, and he's just lost it all out. He's gone. He is a shell of his former self.
There wasn't like a CT within like 100 meters. Just executes Pronax.
He's Tony Almeida, man. He snapped.
Wow. God damn. Well, at least that'll, hopefully provide some humor in the GODSENT camp. Try to lift the spirits.
Yeah, I can imagine the humor. Yeah.
I suppose it's all not that humorous. I suppose in this situation.
GODSENT have they've thrown away the second AWP. Twist has an AK, or maybe he picks it up afterwards. Perhaps it's just for holding an angle. There is Mr. Twist, and indeed, it seems that GODSENT will proceed with the 1 sniper rather than 2. 5 rounds now. They are 5 rounds away. Oh, I'm not going to repeat what Schneider wrote in the chat. It's kind of amusing. I'll leave it to you there. So just making some fun of the team kill there.
See, there you go.
Yeah, team in good spirits.
Yeah, making light of it. That's what you want to see.
Exactly.
Fantastic. All right, well, it's time for the next round. 14-9 is the score for Mousesports at the moment. They've been sitting on 14, of course, for a moment or two.
For a hot minute, as the Mandem would say.
If you're just joining us, there is your update. You can see it at the top of your screen. Fantastic, lovely. So the AWP is on Oscar, and Mousesports haven't had a buy in a while. Their money was pretty ruined by the likes of GODSENT, who have suffered hard times losing some some rounds which are hard to lose. It's hard to lose rounds and not tilt like that. But we'll see them here on the road to recovery. They're mended, perhaps, and they're looking to take over drop zone. It looks to be like they just want to go for the A push, actually, and the setup from Mousesports would actually allow them to do so and get in the site pretty easily. What is it to be here for Mousesports? Do they just hold and allow the teams to take over Pop Dog? Oh no, it looks like they're just going to move as a team.
Oscar holding the high, Rops holding the low, but no kills for Rops. A rare performance from the youngster Oscar, trying to hold his ground. You saw Pronax charging through B, trying to take the train yard for his team. It's left them at a 4-on-4. Lecro will be staying on the high ground, looking for a potential rotation through ladder room, but there won't be one. Chris J from the back, Lowell through Connector to join his team. Doplan focusing on the high ground, but nobody is anywhere near that at the moment. All the CTs on the low. Moving forward, Dennis leading the charge. That bomb continues to tick. 2 of these 4 CTs with defuse kits. No answer to these kills just yet. 3 very fast frags. The Molotov could be a hero play. Can anybody defuse the bomb right now? The smoke is there, and there's just about time. Match point Mousesports.
Oh my god, just a scramble. It's like, which button is the smoke bound to? Oh my god. He's burning, man. He was not coming off that defuse, man. Someone had to throw the smoke. Imagine if they don't find the smoke in time and he dies.
That'd be great. We'd have a match on our hands.
That would be very intense. That'd be intense.
We still do have a match on our hands, though, because GODSENT got cash in the bank.
Yeah, and they're only 6 rounds away from tying it up for overtime. Mousesports, full buy. They've been waiting quite a while to have a buy such as this. With all the grenades, all the utility. GODSENT finding some success going out as a pack, basically. Previously was walking towards B, a contact play. Oh, all the tagging. Lecro is going to go for it, sprinting forwards. Able to catch Lowell. Didn't think that Lecro would come straight back, but he will. Lecro just going absolutely mad at the moment, just charging into the bomb site. We finally see a frag back in response from Mousesports, but it is difficult for them in this 3 versus 4.
Mousesports bleeding hit points at the moment. 4-on-2. Oscar on the site. T's aren't close just yet. Oscar has opportunity to do his work, but there's a crossfire coming in, missing his first shot, and that will be fatal for him. Rops looking in the wrong direction, twist around E-Box, and they've been reset. Mousesports maybe winning that 1 round will be their undoing. There is a big opportunity for GODSENT now. They've wiped out the Mousesports men, the economy. It won't be long, though, before Mousesports are back on the buy. In fact, 3 people could buy... they could do a buy now, Mousesports, but there is little reason to when they could just go for the full buy in at the coming round and then have their loss bonus build up once again. Double AWPs once more for GODSENT. And in case Mousesports manage to get some kills here, we'll have to keep an eye on who is holding what, because if it's the AWPs left, then maybe things get awkward. A shot missed. CTs, they're approaching the main area, but they've got no flash. It is simply cannon fodder. Peeking one by one. The AK's there for support as well. And that will be a brief anti-eco round for the most part. Chris J in ladder room, perhaps he can find something. Schneider, Doppland, both tagged. But surely there's only so much he can do in this situation.
That's a cheeky frag from Chris J. But yeah, I mean, the funny thing is that if you imagine Mousesports had won the 5 versus 2 and the 5 versus 3, which they lost. Oh, sorry, GODSENT, that is. It's just how different the game would look. Because they are proving that they're a team that can play train effectively. Yet they've had to go through such hard times, such a grueling situation that would tilt a huge amount of teams.
GODSENT have won 5 of the last 6 rounds, and of the 6 rounds they have lost, 4 of them there have been defuses. If we ignore the first 2 rounds, then let's say 2 of the 3 rounds Mousesports have won have been by defuse, which means that GODSENT, they are making inroads into the rounds they lose as well as obviously the rounds they win. So it doesn't look terrible for them necessarily performance-wise, but obviously score-wise, it's not great. But they are not far behind. Another key round here for both teams. Mousesports picking up the second AWP. Twist lost his. That's a very brazen peek towards Connector. Again, the CTs always get there before the Ts get to main.
Yeah, no damage exchange. They're all lives. Oh, Pronax. Prody will have no idea that he got some tagging in there. Some cursory. Imagine if he's just continued to spray. Just a few more bullets. Just a few more bullets. But no. It's Dennis on 50 health. And Mousesports playing a passive setup towards both B and A at the moment. So to ask some questions. We've got Lowell pushing towards T main. And he's got some help with him as well. I think it's Chris J who's with him. It is indeed with the AWP. And this is some interesting forward play from Mousesports. Taking that forward real estate is quite important, and they will leave Lowell there in this off angle. And we saw that Lowell basically won them around in this position previously when GODSENT tried to finish the round through Popdog onto A. That was the 5v3 that was lost.
There's actually a setup between Lowell and Chris J. Chris J has the initial angle into main, and Lowell is the supporter, but Chris J is going back and forth, looking towards Ivy as well. If the push comes in towards B, then perhaps Mousesports are going to be out of position for the most part, but then they may have a strong flank. Easier said than done, however. GODSENT continues to push towards B.
And as you say, with the strong flank, it only really works if the initial frags are 1. And it looks like they will be. Oscar's still alive. Rops has killed 2 up front. There's 1 for Oscar as well. There is the trade, though, from Letcrow. That's an important one. Only 2 members strong at the moment are GODSENT. The bomb needs to be collected and picked up. Pronax is going to have to do it. Letcrow is trying to hold on to these angles. He will drop off the high ground, though. And now we'll see a plant in the middle of the bomb train here from Pronax. Letcrow going in. Nice frag there. So fast this Letcrow almost gets Dennis. Dennis will win the battle. It's up to the in-game leader. It's up to Pronax now. There's the first one. Still 1 more to go. Now Pronax has announced his position. Lowell is scanning, awaiting his arrival onto the scene. And Lowell seems to know exactly what's going on. Pronax, will he turn around? No! He's fated to be gunned down from behind as Lowell can now pick up the defuse. And it will be the rounds for Mousesports. They've done it, James. They've finally done it.
That's so unlucky for Pronax. Again, he was closer to the corner. Lowell saw the side of Pronax, and Pronax did not see Lowell, so the flank was absolutely free in the end. Mousesports take it over the line in a very entertaining, violent, and brutal map of train. GODSENT could have been closer, and the way they the way they lost some key rounds could not have been more psychologically crushing for the side, but hopefully they can keep it together.
It did really look like they did keep it together, and I think that some credit does have to be given to the likes of Messioso for that, because they were in the past the team that would definitely tilt in that situation and start to fall apart. But they didn't fall apart. They actually were able to grind together a lot of rounds. And I think when they go back and they have their team talks and they think about the day and the matches ahead, I think they're going to take a lot of solace from the fact that, okay, stuff went wrong, but they didn't allow those mistakes to really compound too hard. They were able to grind some rounds back, and the game was not over at that point.
Yes, things are not always going to go your way, and sometimes you will lose in spectacular fashion. But the ability to stay headstrong and focus on what's ahead of you, as opposed to what has just gone past you, is very key to surviving in a game as tough as Counter-Strike. Thoughts of the desk with Paul?
Thank you very much, James. Yes, and DDK in the commentary for our final matchup. Of course, we'll see them back tomorrow. Our final matchup sees Mouse as the winner. 4 teams now stand at the top of the standings at 2-0, and Mousesports are one of them. Another impressive display. Started to run away with them a little bit towards the end, but when you look at it, and I was thinking this in the 9th round, they were 8-1 up, and at that point, Natu, they were 24 for 2 over 2 maps. I was thinking, what is going on with this team? And then suddenly, GODSENT did start getting back into the game. So credit to them for that, but a good display by Mouse.
Yeah, definitely. They were in the driver's seat for the most of it. A bit of help there from GODSENT, obviously.
A bit.
It's just a tiny bit. I mean, if you lose 5-on-2s, 5-on-3s, massive advantages.
I didn't want to start with this. I was trying to keep it positive,
no,
Natu, but
we're not. But end of the day, we're going all negative.
Okay,
I
think Dan had enough positivity for our whole segment.
Exactly.
But honestly, when you're 5v2 on the inner bomb site with the bomb, you should win that round.
Yeah, of course, 9 times out of 10, or even more than that.
99 times out of 100.
You should win that round. It's just a matter of going in as a unit and getting the trade kills. You could see that their spacing
here is when they're gone out.
Yeah, this is the round. I mean, Oscar played this brilliantly, but at the same time, he should never have been allowed to get there.
You can see just the fear in their eyes right there. GODSENT, they were taking way too much time, making their way towards the inner bomb site. As they were on top of ladder, they knew there was a player near Bob Dog, and then they rotated towards the inner bomb site. Oscar already heard them go up. He started rotating and took his time.
This definitely does not look like an expression of a person who is tilting.
Not at all. They're definitely not tilting at all.
Thank you, DDK.
Doing a great job. But yeah, I mean, you could see in those situations, they were just hesitating way too much. They needed to just go, initiate, put that bomb down, get deep end of the bomb site, and that would have never happened. Instead, they were just taking way too much time, even to make their way from the 3rd lane to the bomb site.
Definitely not tilting. I mean, what can you say after that one? It's just like you lose a 4v2, a 5v2, a 5v3, and a 5v3 again.
I think it was another 5v2.
Or two, you know, it's just so many rounds where you had the advantage that you've just gifted to the opposing team. And yeah, I have to give props to Mousesports early on in the first half. They did come out with an execute heavy style. They have that one execute which I don't really comprehend to its fullest, where they throw the smokes between the 5 and 6 train and between the electric box and the train, which is common. And they send out Chris J, and that was the round where he got the scout kill, right? But everyone else is so far away. Like 2 players are towards Ivy, 1 is above Pop Dog, and 1 is towards B. And if he gets a kill and nothing happened, like they're not doing anything. He's just still outside, lurking around. Like in my opinion, if you go for something like that, sure, you wait for a player to try and make a play. But at least have a teammates in a position to react. Whether it's going to be pushing outside if he gets a kill, or pushing inside after he gets a kill and draws the rotation, but something. This way, they were a bit lucky that it took a very long time for GODSENT to refrag, so they did eventually come together towards the outer bomb site. So early on, great performance from them. GODSENT finally, with some aggression, started getting a couple of rounds towards the end of the half. But I mean, just so many rounds given away.
Too little by then, isn't it?
It was too much to recover from.
MVP for this one is Oscar, and had a great game all round, didn't he? I mean, just some fantastic shots with the AWP. Great cleanups, great initiations on the bomb sites. Just played it all round.
I mean, I think he's like a stereotype, kind of a mobile opper, plus a hybrid player, kind of a prototype today's top Counter-Strike player who could do it all pretty much. And showcasing there, getting 26 kills on it.
I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but it does seem like Oscar found a way to restrain himself slightly, because the problem for him would be he would get a kill or even 2 kills, great, huge advantage for his team, but then he would go for more and give that advantage back to the opposing team. A great sign for me was that round when GODSENT was going B, Mouse was on the CT side and Robs dies. Oscar holds a very passive angle, just gets the first kill and then moves even further back, just holds an even more passive angle, not allowing the T's to push towards the back of the B bomb site, which is the most important thing in order for you to be able to execute the retake later on as CT. And indeed, Mouse did manage to execute it properly, in thanks to him like giving information that no one is like pushed further back. Let's just clear the standard spots and retake the site.
I think it should be recognized. That's the hardest part of it too. When you're that kind of an opper, you go for the picks, and then what is the fine line of when do you need to like back off, and when do you feel that you can still push and make another move? I think at Alu is for another great example, a player who's like slowly becoming better and better at feeling when can you push and when you need to fall back. He still has a moment of lapse when he goes for an extra peek, as does Oscar. JW back in the day, obviously kind of being like the guy who invented making the op into a shotgun.
I don't think you have any of the oppers who are regarded like as the best in the world who didn't do that or still do
at some point.
Occasionally. It's just you have that Superman effect once you get a kill or two and you feel like you can do anything.
Okay, let's bring in my favorite Dutch player in the world called Chris.
Hey man, what's up?
How you doing, Chris? You must be satisfied after that. It was a good win.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied. I mean, it got a bit rough in the end, but we did it.
Yeah, talk me through the last part of the game, because the first half was fantastic. 8-1 up, you're thinking everything's going really well, it's really good. Not quite a good finish, because it finishes 9-6. And then the second half, GODSENT tried to come back at you. What were you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, the first half ended a bit less good as we hoped for. I mean, like you said, we felt like we were like in control of the game. They surprised us then with some aggression, basically all over the map. We got picked inside, we got picked alley, and that managed them to get some rounds. CT side, I don't know. We didn't really have a feel how to play against them at the start, but we got some lucky rounds. Eventually, we figured our setup how to play it, so it worked in the end.
It did work in the end. And talking of where you are right now, you're 2-0, one game away from making the major again.
Yeah.
I mean,
looking good.
Yeah, I mean, what's behind it though? Tell me how. Tell me how you've done that, because a lot of people would have looked at you and maybe thought, yeah, maybe borderline could get to the major, but there's lots of good teams here. So how have you been able to rise above?
I don't think that's fair to say. I think we are one of the favorites here. Honestly, I would be really disappointed if we didn't make it, and I think if we just play our game, there's no way we're not going to make it.
All right. I spoke to you a couple of years ago. I think we sat down for like an interview off-screen thing, and we did some interviews, and it was during the start of the Nico era, and you were quite candid with me. You were, yep, we just play around him. He's the best player we've ever had. We just got to do whatever he wants us to do. And you kind of done that for a long time, and you hadn't had that much success alongside it. He is a great player. We know he's a great player. But do you feel like the team's better now without him in there?
I mean, obviously losing a player like Nico is a loss, skill-wise, but the team certainly works more as a team right now.
Sure.
And when you look at how Oscar is playing rough sometimes, I think we certainly have players that can like get close to Nico's level, especially on good days. So.
And how are you feeling these days? Because I know I spoke to you so many times before where you were like, yeah, I don't really feel it right now, but you're playing out of your mind at the time, and then you had a period of quietness. Where are you right now?
I'm starting to feel like okay. I mean, obviously I'm not main opping anymore, which hurt my stats or just my impact on the game a lot. But I'm feeling good now. I think I have my place in the team. I think the team is working good. So yeah,
I still see you getting the odd scout out.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Works.
Yeah, never drop the scout.
No.
Never lose that one. I've got Natu and Janko alongside. What have you got for Chris?
I think we're both interested in the map veto, ending up on train. Like, was that like going down to Mirage and train as the last two maps? Was it a curveball to GODSENT to go to train instead of Mirage?
It's like we just feel good on train. We know they're not that good on train. We think they're better on Mirage than train. Our Mirage is also quite good, but we've been practicing train a lot and it's working well. So we just went with what is comfortable for us.
Okay.
Well, first, it's good to hear you speak with confidence about the team. That's refreshing. And I wonder how it is finally to be on the other side of losing 5v2s and 5v3s and 5v4s.
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
It must be very nice. Also, on a more serious note, I personally had my doubts when you guys announced that you are going to be the in-game leader, simply because you're a very emotional player, and you know, at the heat of the moment, you have to keep your calm, basically. But I'm very impressed with what you've done with the team, and you know, after a past few months, do you feel like perfectly comfortable now within the role, or do you still feel like you're learning some things?
I feel like I'm learning a lot still. I mean, the coach is helping a lot preparing the game plan. Teammates are also, especially Oscar, helping a lot with calling. So it's not like I have the whole team under control, and this is all my work. You know, I have my part in it, sure, and I think it's going well. It's improving, but I couldn't do it without the rest of the team.
Okay, cool.
Sounds good. Okay, we're going to let you go, Chris. I know it's late, so you can go and get some rest.
Yeah, thanks.
And come back tomorrow for a shot at a place in the major. Here we go. Chris James. He had nothing to say to me after that. He's like, yeah, and what? Of course we're coming back to playing the major. What are you on about?
He gave you a little nod.
We should, yeah. Chris J there from Mousesports, and congratulations to him and his teammates. They have made it 2-0. They've been pretty impressive, haven't they, over the 2 days?
I mean, yeah, you're 2-0. We started off with a 16-1. The second one, obviously, wasn't as easy.
Yeah.
But still, they're definitely looking very, very good.
Yeah. I mean, people might say, well, you've only played Tingri and you've only played GODSENT and they're not in very good form. But that doesn't matter. You've just got to beat the teams in front of you.
I think we all expected them to be in one of the main contenders to make the major anyway.
Yeah.
I agree. And you only can play the teams that are in front of you, right? So it's
you don't get to choose.
It's very rare that across the whole tournament you're going to get like lucky every single time. They might get G2 in the next round, and what happens then?
Well, why don't we move towards that? Because we're going to find out very shortly. But first, let's just take a look back at the results for day number 2 and give you the standings as well. It's been a mixed day, really, isn't it? What do you feel like has stood out in terms of a surprise? I guess probably Optic losing,
and
Vega
Liquid,
winning, Penta maybe
slightly.
Yeah.
I mean, the fashion they won Liquid, I guess, is what was really surprising.
Yeah, that was the first game of the day as well.
Yep.
So you had a couple of small surprises, I guess, on a number of places. I would agree that Optic is probably the biggest one because regardless of them being in a slump and struggling to find course, still you would expect them to beat Vega, but maybe not. Vega in the previous qualifier as well, obviously the NIP Slayers, right? We all remember that. And slightly surprising performance for Flipside in a positive sense. They came out all guns blazing, really looked crisp and coordinated versus Hellraisers. So for all of us that were wondering how are they going to play at this tournament, they've been pretty good so far.
Yeah, we've got 4 teams left in the mix right now who are 2-0, 4 that are 0-2, and the rest all in the middle at the moment. So let's find out how the 3 tiers pan out for day number 3. This is the draw as it stands right now. Team Dignitas will take on Tengri in the opening game. Remember, both of those are 0-2 right now. Optic, also 0-2, will take on Renegades. They get the bum deal as far as the bottom 4 are concerned. Then we move on to Tyloo versus Vega Squadron, both at 1-1 right now. Big versus Immortals, that's a great game to look forward to. Likewise, Cloud9 versus GODSENT, and Penta versus Mousesports. Wouldn't you believe it? The 2 German powerhouses that no longer have mostly German players in the teams will go head-to-head for a place in the major. Brilliant. Team Liquid will take on Hellraisers, of course. They lost today as well. And then finally, the last 2 unbeaten teams, G2 versus Flipside. It's a pretty spicy set of draws.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting games. You feel like Flipside, Renegades, and Big got the short end of the stick, drawing Optic, Immortals, and G2 respectively. So along the other games, you have a couple of very, very interesting matchups. Like the Penta Mousesports one is going to be super cool to watch. In a sense that that's a good chance for Penta to actually get out with a 3-0.
Yeah, we'll see how it pans out. Thank you very much, Natsu. Thank you to Yanko. And, of course, to Moses, our observers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's 2 versus 5, Dan. It was 2 versus 5.
Yeah, I think it was, right? Yeah, thank you.
What the hell, Dan?
Thank you. Anyway, enough of this nonsense. We are ready to sign off for day number 2. Thank you very much for tuning in. Has been another great day of Counter-Strike. We'll see you tomorrow, where 2 teams will book their ticket to the PGL Major in Krakow later in July. We'll see you soon.